Hello everyone, my name is Parleen Kaur Kalika and I've secured third rank in the Punjab Civil Services Examination 2018. It was my second attempt and I prepared on my own for this exam. Prior to this exam, I did MA Geography from Punjab University, which I finished in 2016, after which I cleared my NET UGC exam, and after that I started preparing for this exam. So after finishing my post-graduation in 2016, I took coaching for UPSC prelims, and after which I appeared for prelims, but having not cleared prelims after that. So for this very exam, I relied on self-study. So I thought studying on my own would be the best thing. So I didn't rely on any coaching. I just took mains test series from an institute, that is all, where I would go and write tests and take feedback. So I think the strategy, I'm going to list detailed strategy. I think it will help you studying on your own, and if you just read through the syllabus and listen to all the topper talks, you will get a hang of things, you will get where to start, and I think it is all about self-study. Coaching is just a guiding hand. They will just tell you about what to study, what not to study. And nowadays we can get a hang of from YouTube also. So I think self-study is the best if you can do that, nothing like it. So the idea that I wanted to join civil services actually came in very early into my life, even when I had no idea or no clue about civil services. And then I closely watched my uncle, who himself was an aspirant of PCS, so that really gave me a motivation to go for this exam. Today I am going to share a detailed strategy on how I cleared this exam on the platform of Delhi Knowledge Track. So this exam is a 3-stage exam, as most of us are aware, similar to the pattern of UPSC exam. So the 3 stages are the preliminary exam, the mains exam, and the personality test or the interview. So I will walk you through all the stages of the exam. So coming to the preliminary stage of the exam, so let us discuss about the preliminary exam first. So in case of preliminary exam, we have 2 papers, the general studies paper and the CSAT paper or the aptitude test, and both are counted, unlike the UPSC where the CSAT is only qualifying. So my personal focus was on CSAT because CSAT is highly scoring and GS can be unpredictable at times. So I thought that I could, concentrate on the CSAT paper and secure my marks. In case of the GS paper, so we have 2 components. One is the static component and the other is the current component. So I'm going to share a detailed strategy and book list from where I prepared my GS, and I would like to mention that I used to prepare my own notes from whatever sources I read. So for GS, so I followed NCERTs for 3 subjects, that is science, geography and history. So the geography NCERTs are one of the best NCERTs of class 11, the 2 NCERTs. So I would really recommend to read these NCERTs. In addition to this, for modern history, I read Spectrum. For polity, I covered Lakshmikant, which is more than enough, I feel, and along with that, I covered the political theory NCERT of class 11 because that is relevant for PCS prelims. And then in case of environment and ecology, I followed the book of Shankar IAS, which I found very comprehensive. Along with that, I also covered a unit of ecology from the biology NCERT of class 12. Then the important component in Punjab Civil Services is the Punjab portion. So you need to cover the Punjab history, Punjab geography and the trivia about Punjab. So as history and geography were my graduation subjects, so I prepared the Punjab component, the Punjab history from SP Sabharwal and Punjab geography from a book called DS Manku. But there are a lot of sources. If you do not have these subjects in graduation, I would not recommend these books. You will find many other sources where you can easily cover it. And for the current part, so current is a very important aspect of the exam, and for that I religiously followed the newspaper, and particularly for this exam I found The Tribune the most relevant newspaper. So what you can do is that before your prelims you can go 6 months back and you can follow those newspapers. So I made notes out of them for the prelims, as well as you can follow any of the monthly compilations for current affairs to be secure. As far as my CSAT strategy is concerned, so in case of CSAT, we can broadly divide it into some components, like we have an English section, we have a Punjabi section, then we have reasoning section and quantitative aptitude. So I think I did not go for any standard sources for this preparation. My focus was on solving more and more tests, because CSAT I felt was more about time management rather than other preparation. If you're able to solve all the questions, I think you'll do fairly well in CSAT. Now I would like to discuss the second stage of the exam, which is the mains exam, the written part, and I think it is the most significant part, because myself scoring high marks in mains, I think it is the key to clear the exam for me. In the mains exam, we have 7 papers, and in case of the PCS exam, all papers are compulsory, unlike UPSC where you have an optional subject. So the 7 papers are, number 1 is the essay, and then we have the 2 language papers, one of English, one of Punjabi, and we have 4 papers of general studies. So as far as mains is concerned, I think first of all I would recommend all the aspirants to please thoroughly go through the syllabus. I think once you are clear about the syllabus, once you know the topics in the syllabus, it really streamlines your study. Without reading the syllabus is just like fishing without knowing anything about it. So I think you should read the syllabus carefully. After reading the syllabus, I think what I did was I went through the past papers. So after reading the questions that have been asked earlier, you come to know what is the demand of the question, how you should study, all that. Then regarding mains, I think what is most important is how you make your notes. I would really recommend that you make your own notes, because that is really going to help you in the exam, because you have to write the exam, and mind you, it is really difficult to finish the exam in the allotted time. So if you do not have practice of writing, I would advise that you start right away, because even if you leave one question, it can really cost you a position in the final list. So as far as notes is concerned, what my strategy was, I wanted to make very brief and precise notes. So before every GS paper, you just get one day to revise and prepare before the exam. So before every paper, I just had a booklet of 30-40 pages, handwritten notes, which I would revise multiple times. So the key here is to revise multiple times. Just limit your sources, limit your content. We just don't want to read 10 books on a topic. Just make centralized notes and revise them again and again, so that you're able to replicate in the exam. That is what is about notes. Then you also need a lot of practice on answer writing. Without writing answers, you cannot hope to write amazing answers directly in the exam. So I would really advise to write answers. One way of this can be to join a test series. I had joined a test series for mains, which really helps you in maintaining regularity, and then the feedback given to you, you can analyze that feedback, you can improve upon yourself. And whenever you're going to give tests, that is what I also felt. Never feel that you're not prepared, so you're not going to write the test. Mind you, even when you're going to write the final exam, you will not feel that you're well prepared or prepared enough. You can never be prepared enough. Just go, write the test, and you'll feel great. And it is just like a confidence building measure, which will really help you in the final exam. So apart from this, I would also like to mention that please diversify your study. Use online sources. Now in this day and age, I think everybody has access to the internet. So just go to YouTube, go to Google, just whatever you want to do. I would really diversify my study, because reading from books all the time can be monotonous. So when you go, you watch some video, you do a topic from the video, it really registers in your mind. It helps you understand better. Plus it also adds a fun element to your study. I feel you enjoy doing that. So I would go online, I would just, any topic I didn't understand, I would just type there, I would see the recommendations of videos. And then I followed Rajya Sabha TV quite regularly, especially for my interview preparation. So there are a lot of good content on that, so you need to follow that. Apart from this, I would like to suggest that for the essay paper, so you need to really focus on essay paper. If you can get marks in the essay paper, nothing like it. So just please prepare on your own for the essay. And the other ignored portion is, I think, the two language papers. We prepare a lot about GS, but then in the language papers we tend to take them lightly, that it is English and Punjabi, we can handle them. But please do prepare, because if you score good marks in them, it will definitely give you an edge. And one other thing which might be a little ignored part, or you might feel that it is not that important, but which was my advantage in this exam, was that I have a reasonably good handwriting. So if you can improve on your handwriting, you can improve on the legibility of your handwriting. Mind you, it will give you more marks, it will give you an edge. And then, since the paper is very dynamic these days, the world is changing and there is so much competition, you cannot expect to write answers like the old times and get good marks. So I think we need to focus on answer enrichment, and my personal experience here I think would be valuable, because I tried to make a lot of maps and diagrams in my answers, which is reflected in my main score. I managed to score quite good marks in the mains. So I think you should focus on these aspects, and I think you will be well. So after having a detailed view of the mains examination, the next step is the personality test or the interview. So I think a personality test or interview is a very subjective component. It really depends on how you want to prepare. You want to attend mock interviews, you do not want to attend mock interviews. I, for one, did not go for any mock interviews. For the personality test, I prepared on my own, and for this I tried interacting with people who are in the services or who have given interviews, who know about the process, to get a hang of things. And I think interview or personality test is more about self evaluation. You sit with yourself, you prepare your biodata, because the questions will come from within you. So you need to sit down, you need to prepare. You don't have to portray yourself as somebody else, because in that pressure situation the real you will come out. So try to stay as real as possible. Try to make your form a little interesting, like if you have some hobbies, just do mention, because they're looking for an overall personality. One thing I would like to mention is that interview or personality test is not a test of your knowledge. So we've heard this a lot of times. It is more about your confidence. It is more about how you handle pressure situations. Do you possess the rationale or the requisite skills to come out of a pressure situation? So that is what they're looking for. They're looking for an officer like quality in the interview. They've tested you through multiple exams, in the prelims, in the mains. So it is not a test of your knowledge. So I can share my personal experience of the interview. So my interview was heavily based on my graduation and post-graduation subject, which was geography. So I was heavily questioned on that. So I think for the interview, you need to prepare well what you have done throughout in life, so you can be questioned anywhere. And I think once you've cleared the mains, you get the amount of confidence to appear in the interview. So that won't be a problem. During the preparation also, you witness a lot of stress, and even when you're in the examination hall, the stress factor never tends to leave you. So before the exam, what you can do is, in the preparatory stages, if you feel some sort of stress, you can indulge in some physical activity, go for a walk. That is what I used to do, just go for a walk or go for a movie. And my stress buster actually was watching sports. So I'm a sports lover. I would watch all the cricket matches, even if they happen to be just 2 days before the exam, or I really like watching badminton matches. So I think what I also want to highlight is that people tend to think that since they are toppers, they did nothing but study. That is not true. it is, the examination is not your life. It is just one aspect of your life. Life is totally, it is a huge component. So what you can do is just focus on other aspects of life, follow some hobby. So what I did was I followed calligraphy. So I would write or I would draw something, that would release my stress, that would take me away from studies. You can listen to music, you can go and watch movies, meet your friends. You need such breaks at regular intervals so that you feel rejuvenated, you feel refreshed to study again. So in the they're not asking for bookworms who can just sit and just cram things up and just vomit them in the exam. You need to be an all-round personality. So please indulge in whatever hobbies or sports you like. Do indulge in that. I would really recommend that. And then when we come to the exam hall, there is a lot of stress, but the stress in the exam hall can really diminish your efforts. So whatever efforts you have done, you've prepared for 1 year, but if you take stress on that day, all your effort will go in vain, because stress is something which really does not let your mind function properly. So what I did was, to manage my stress, I never compromised on my sleep. It never happened that I had my exam in the morning. I would take my 8 hours sleep in every exam. So never compromise on your sleep, never compromise on your food. So you need to have good food, you need to have good sleep, you need to relax well, So if you pay attention to all these factors, I think you can handle stress. And the other thing is, you need to go with a lot of confidence in the exam hall. If you're prepared well, you will get that confidence that I would know the questions, and if I won't know, the others won't know. You need to have that confidence in yourself, and that is what will make all the difference. So many people study. People, I think more qualified would be waiting in the line who haven't qualified. But what matters is what you do on the exam day. How much stress do you take? How do you handle that stress? Because the job we are going into, it is all about stress management and stress handling. So if you cannot take the exam stress, it does not reflect well on you. So I think stress will be handled. Just don't make this exam your whole life. Think out of this exam, go enjoy, take regular trips. I would do that. Honestly, I'm not speaking for the sake of it. I was a very relaxed person. I would study in a very relaxed manner. I would watch some series also on Netflix. I would watch Friends, everything. So that is not a problem. That will help you, handle stress. So stress handling is very important for this exam. And if you follow all these things, I think you will manage well. So after going through all the procedural aspects of the exam, which we can find anywhere and it is easily accessible, my purpose of this interview is to provide some motivation and to provide some other experiences that I had during the preparation of this exam. So I'd like to say that civil services, is a long and tough journey. Let's be honest about it. So I'd like to compare it with two sporting events. We have a marathon and we have a sprint. So civil services exam is like a marathon. Why I say a marathon? Because in the marathon you need a lot of stamina to sustain for a longer period of time. So it is like that. The exam itself, all the stages of the exam take 1 year. And considering you're preparing 1 year prior to that, so one exam actually takes 2 years of your time and effort to finally be in that list. So I'd like to say that gradually take steps, build steps. Don't go like that. In 10 days you go with so much energy in the beginning that you want to finish all the things, you want to study all day, and then you go downhill. That is not advisable. You need to take little steps, but every day, if you will even study for 2 hours, that does not matter, but it will add to your preparation. So I'd like to say that take gradual steps, because we need to sustain till that level. The second thing which I would really like to state is that I know it is a tough exam, I know there is a lot of burden, there are a lot of expectations, but what I feel is that you need to enjoy the process of this exam. If you're not able to enjoy what you're studying, then it becomes a burden. You can consider it as an opportunity to learn, and what you're learning will pay you throughout life. So, how I saw this exam when I felt a little demotivated or when I felt overburdened, I thought that I'm getting to learn new things each day, and otherwise maybe I would not have learned all these things had I not been in this situation. So you have to take a positive outlook towards the exam. You have not been forced to take this exam, you have taken it on your own will, so why not enjoy the process? And I think if you can enjoy the process, the results will definitely follow. The other aspect is that there is a lot of stress, there are a lot of expectations, you feel stressed at times. When we see toppers videos, we tend to feel that since the results went their way, they never witnessed any demotivation or any stress. That is wrong. I can tell about myself, I cannot speak for the others, but I sometimes witnessed so many emotional phases in a single day. Like, once I would feel that I would not be able to clear the exam, the other time I would feel no, I'll clear the exam. But I think there are little battles during this exam. So if you can win all these battles of emotional downs when you feel so demotivated, if you can win all these, come out of these, I think you will end up clearing the exam as well. So it really teaches you a lot about life, it teaches you so much about patience, perseverance. So you need to adopt all these qualities, and the most important thing is have confidence in yourself. Have confidence, have the determination that you have decided that you're going to take up this exam. So why not give it all your best with your mind and soul and everything? Just go for it. So apart from all these things, there is one pressing question among students which after meeting so many people, this question keeps on propping up about the amount of hours you need to put in for this exam. So I would like to say that I, for one, do not believe in quantifying my study. I think quality matters more over quantity. And for how you can manage this, what I did was I had set weekly or daily targets for myself. I had a plan for the following day that I need to finish all these topics. So if that daily target took 10 hours, I would spend 10 hours. If that would be finished in 5 hours, I would feel happy finishing it in 5 hours. So I'd like to tell you, don't make, I would not advise making monthly targets or targets for 2 months, because if you do not achieve them, the pressure adds. So what you can do is make daily, at the most weekly targets, so that you can also change them according to whatever circumstances you have. This is one question which I really needed to address, that study hours do not matter. It is a very subjective thing. So you need to adopt your own strategy, what benefits you, how many hours you need to put in, how well your conceptual clarity is. So that is one thing that I wanted to address. The other thing I wanted to say is that you need to surround yourself with people who motivate you, during this exam. So be it your family, your friends, anybody, your peers, you need to have people around you who understand your journey, who understand how difficult it is, who are there to push you forward. And for this purpose, if you can have a study partner, nothing like it. So I also had a friend, so we used to prepare together, study together, discuss our things, discuss all the issues. So it really helps you once you discuss, it cements the topics in your head. I think nothing like it if you can study with partners. So my main purpose to come on a platform like this was to motivate you people, because failures come in our life. I had also witnessed failures in the UPSC exam. So similarly, I had come across a video online wherein a girl, she could not clear her UPSC, but then she cleared PCS and eventually ended up clearing UPSC. that video really motivated me. That had a great influence on me. Similarly, I want that my story should, have an influence on people. Like, I could not clear my UPSC, but then I did not lose my confidence. The PCS exam came, I devoted myself fully to the exam and came out successful. I think in this process, you're going to have failures at one stage or the other. What I learned from failures is that learn to own your failures. If you're not going to own your failures, you can never come out of them. So I proudly own that I could not clear UPSC, but that helped me analyze myself, that helped me correct myself. So if I did not own my failures, I would not go into that path of correction. So failures will come, but how you come out of those failures will determine how successful you will be. So in the end, I would just like to say that, whenever you fail or whenever you feel that you are demotivated or you cannot clear the exam, you think that there are many others like this who feel like this. Okay, but who come out as victorious, who come out of these failures. So it is very important that you stay motivated throughout the process. It's a long process, there will be demotivations, but you need to keep your own together and stay motivated. And you can just take courage from the fact that if she can clear it, why cannot we clear? So I think that is my message will be to the aspirants, to the future aspirants, that anybody can clear this exam provided you have confidence in yourself and you are determined and you work hard. Thank you so much to Delhi Knowledge Track for providing me this platform to share my strategy, to motivate the aspirants, to interact with the aspirants. And I'd also like to thank all the listeners and viewers to patiently listening to me. And if I could help you in any manner, I'd be glad. And if I've motivated even 2 people, I'd feel that my purpose is done. Thank you.